Welcome to ballin'burgers! So, I need to address a couple of things today. First off, I didn't post a video yesterday. I'm truly sorry. I had a lot of stuff going on, and between classes and between work and a whole lot of crazy stuff, and I was just tired, and I had a lot of homework, and I'm tired now. Oh, let me tell you, I'm tired now. I was running around all day yesterday, and now I have a little bit of room to relax and do this video. I'm really sorry about that, and I can't wait to see what I have to do as punishment that Mikey posted earlier today. I don't know if you saw that. I was intrigued. I thought it was funny, and let's see what my punishment is. I'll probably do it like Mikey said. I'll probably do it next week Wednesday if there is something there. Next order of business is Mikey's question. I'm glad you really brought this up because I am very opinionated about DLC content. And let's just say I'm used to buying a game and it being done completely, 100% done. For instance, PlayStation 2, when we had a PlayStation 2, you bought a game and that was it. That's all you did. You bought the game and that was the full game. And anything that you could unlock, you had to do it by, like, any cheats or anything like that, or extra things you had to do by playing the game and doing certain quests or secrets, collecting something, and then you were able to unlock secrets. For instance, Jak and Daxter, Jak 3 and Jak 2, you collect the precursor things, which are really hard to find, and then you can go into the options menu and you can do secrets, hacks or cheats, whatever you want to call them. So you could have like big head, small head, invincibility, God mode, things like that. And I really enjoyed that. That was really fun. It gave the game a little bit of a challenge. Versus nowadays, the way that they do it is they rush to get this game done, and then they give you a game with just enough to make you feel good and make you think that it's a game, but then they add so much extra stuff to it. But instead of adding all that extra to it, it's at the end after they release it, and then you have to buy it. And I don't believe that's fair to the consumers. I would much rather buy a game and that be it, done, zip, zero, zilch. I don't have to worry about anything else. I mean, I can kind of understand with Call of Duty because you get a big amount of maps to begin with, so I can understand that. And then you don't have to buy those maps. You don't get an edge for buying those new maps, or you get a gun with it. You don't get an edge over everybody else. Versus other games, for instance, Evolve, you may get an edge over someone else because you bought an extra hero. You have the better hero. Your team may get an edge because you have a better hunter, whatever you want to call him. So I don't believe in that. I don't want to, because you're spending twice as much money now versus back in the day. I mean, granted, back in the day, you'd pay $60. Well, I mean, I don't know. Does inflation count on that? I don't know. The inflated, so a game, so an N64 game would cost more today or less. I don't really remember how much games cost back then. I didn't have a job. My mom always would buy them for me. I'd be like, hey, Mom, I want this game for Christmas or whatever, and she would buy it for me. I didn't know how much games cost back then, but I know now a brand spanking new game is $60. And then on top of that, if you get the season pass, which allows you to get all the DLC throughout the year that the producers release, that's another $60. So you're essentially buying one game for the price of two. And that's a little excessive. Very excessive. That hurts my wallet. That makes me not want to buy these games. And that's why I didn't know a lot of the things about Battlefront. I've just been looking at the videos and being hyped up about it. I thought there was going to be a campaign. The multiplayer sounds really cool, but there's only going to be, how many maps did you say? On 4 planets? Once you said that, I was a little upset. What? No, Star Wars is over a whole bunch of planets. And then the fact that they're the starting game is going to have only 4 planets, but if you buy our DLC, you'll get even more. So, they're essentially playing this bullshit micromanaged thing. They're essentially doing what the apps are doing. The apps are doing. You can play games. You buy the app, or it's a free game or whatever, but then you can only go like so far in the game before it becomes so difficult that you really can't do anything with your own, intellectual mind. You can't pass this puzzle without some sort of upgrade, in order to get that upgrade, you need to purchase something. So it's like those microtransactions and things like that, and that's what, unfortunately, gaming is starting to become, is these microtransactions. For instance, we have the Skylanders and what's the other one? I don't remember what the other one is. There's Skylanders and the Disney one. I don't remember what the Disney one is called. Is that the Heroes or something like that? But even that, like, you can go, like, the way that they market it is you can go so far throughout the game. And then once you get to a certain point in the game, you need a different character or a different hero. So the parents, like, the kids can't play anymore. They're like, well, I'm done. And then they bother the parents saying, I need the next person. And then the parents say, okay, they give in. And they go and they buy the next hero or whatever. And it's just, and then they use it for one little level and then they never use it again. So it's really smart marketing. They get a lot of money for it. But at the same time, the consumer needs to realize, us as consumers need to realize, like, hey, this is not okay. I mean, it's horrible for us. I don't want to be spending all this money on a half-ass game. Now, the way that I do enjoy, like, the online and everything with gaming is updates. I really think that that's important. Maybe not the DLC sucks. I went over the DLC, but now I'm talking about the updates. And again, the most recent thing that I can talk about is probably Dota. Dota is a MOBA, which is a multiplayer, massive online battle arena. And it's pretty much, you have a base in one corner and a base in the other corner, and then you have 5 heroes on the team, and then you have 3 lanes, and then you have towers defending the base. And the object of the game is to destroy the other opponent's base. Really simple. It's kind of like League, if some people... League and Dota are really similar to each other, yet they have still differences. And with Dota, they just released a new game client. They released Client 2, and that was a beta for a while, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, everyone that's playing on the first client, we're going to take the first client away, and we're going to make you play the second client, even though it's not like 100% done and clean. And the reason why they did that is because people weren't playing on the new client, even though it was a beta and everything. They're like, "Hey, come play this," but people weren't because it was really buggy and it really wasn't working well. So then they decided, well, we're going to release a big update and try and fix a lot of the bugs, even though it's like only going to be like 60% done. We're going to cut out the other game client and make everyone go into this, and it's brought a lot of bad press to them, to Valve, the people that run it, and. Updates are good and bad with me. I don't know. I like it. I like the updates, but then sometimes it makes things more hassle, and it gives game developers a way out. It gives them a little cheat of like, oh, well, we haven't completely fixed this yet, but we're just going to release the game anyway. And then after the game's released, we're going to update it. We're going to send a patch out. And that's in my books, that's not smart. I don't think that's fair to the gamers. When I pay $60 and I pick up a game from the store, I want to be able to pop it in and play it right away, not have any issues. And that's what I miss about the old games. And to be honest, I'd rather have people push their games back on timeline. Like, I understand, like, you have a timeline, and sometimes game developers put these timelines, crazy timelines on games. They say, oh, we need it done in a year or something like that, and that's ridiculous for a game. Especially with these new, yeah, they're a little bit faster with the new systems and everything like that, with the PS4 being more like a computer. But still, I would much rather have them push it back further, like work on it for a full 3 years or something like that, and make a full, complete game and ready to go right out of the box, than spend a year on it, or a year and a half or something on it, and release a half-ass game, and then like, oh, backheel, and now we're going to release like a billion patches right at the beginning, and then hope we can fix through it. No, that's not okay for game developers to do that, and I don't know how we're going to change this. As of right now, we as consumers need to rally back, but the game developers are just so massive and so big and so power hungry and money hungry that it's really hard for us to do something about it. But then at the same time, let's take into account Mass Effect 3. There was a whole big uproar over the ending of Mass Effect 3. I officially have not played through. I've played some of Mass Effect 3. I have not played to the ending, and people hated the ending of Mass Effect 3, and so they begged the game developer to make a new ending. So the game developer, what he did is he made a new ending and then added it as a DLC. Like, oh, it's a free DLC, you can download it. And in my opinion, that is bullshit. Okay? And let me tell you why. The game developer, the game producer, the director wanted the game to go a certain way. That was his vision. Games are art now. I consider them art. It's a story. It's a story of a character or a situation or anything like that. It's a story, and that makes it art in its own sense, in my opinion. And that is how the director interpreted this art form, was this one ending. And having the viewers and everyone else that played it not like it and then demand something else, I don't believe he should have recreated the ending and redone the ending and had it as a DLC. That was his decision to make it that way, a certain way. So you should be happy with it and understand, like, yeah, that's the same thing with movies. You could love the movie up until and hate the ending, and there's nothing you can do about it. So why should video games be any different, in my opinion? So I want you, Mikey, on Wednesday, tomorrow, I want you to answer a question about the consumer. I want you to think and tell me what you think about the consumers having an effect on video games, as far as, endings or anything. Like, is it good? Is it bad? Do the consumers know what they want? For instance, Xbox One. When they first announced the Xbox One, nobody really liked it, and then Microsoft listened to the consumer and was like, "Oh, well, we're going to go back to the drawing board and kind of like change some of these things." So that's good in a sense for Microsoft, because then they were able to sell a little bit more units than if they wouldn't have changed anything. But how do you feel about the consumer changing and voicing their opinion to game developers and them kind of like changing it and listening to it? Do you think our opinions are valued, or do you think that like we don't know what we're talking about? Please let me know. And I'm sorry again for not posting yesterday. I will definitely try and keep up on my Monday posts. Till then, I'll see y'all Friday.